Earlier I mentioned a void that we had on the board, and with Selby, and we actually have another void that in the organization that we need to try to fill. But last year I gave a President's Award to Matt DeRoma, if you remember that, and Matt always came around and took pictures, and he always found me at the next show and handed out the pictures that he took of me, and I never realized that he kind of did that. He just did that as a favor. He wasn't reimbursed for that, and I didn't realize that until after the fact. But no, I really appreciate the efforts that he did, and we do have a void there today. I appreciate Kelsey, taking some pictures of the events, but of individuals that we're going to put on the website. But if anybody is looking for an opportunity to fill that void, we could sure use somebody to step forward and volunteer to take pictures at the shows and at the banquet here. And please let myself or any of the board members know that you're interested in doing that. But I didn't realize that until this morning. I'm thinking, we don't have somebody kind of going around and taking pictures of everybody at the tables, and it was a really nice thing to do. And I know John wants to talk about that later too. But if anybody is interested in doing that, I would really appreciate that. Now that I mentioned the President's Awards, I have a couple that I wanted to give out. We have different awards that we give out, but the President's Awards are meant to be, in some cases, what made my job easier or made the job easier for people who are volunteering. We're all volunteers, and so I think one of the first ones that I wanted to bring up and give an award to, I have a few, is Debbie Lovely, and for some efforts that we do table sponsors, or we have a table, an NSDR table at the different shows, and we have it's a lot of work to do these, and this last year she volunteered and took part of the table and helped us on that table while Marlene wasn't available to be there. So I appreciate the efforts on that. And Debbie, you want to come up and get an award for that? Another individual who helped at that table, it's a lot of effort. I did that a few years ago. It's a lot of unrecognized efforts, and so we appreciate it when people come by just to, hey, give us a break so we can run to the restroom or something. But I really appreciate it. But Brian Cushing helped out this last year too, and I appreciate your efforts. Brian, come on up. He said, "You're not going to call me up," and I said, "No, of course not. We're the board."
Brian helped me at Central States amazingly.
All right, ready? 1, 2.
Now, one of the biggest efforts that we've had this year, as Don spoke about, this website changes that we made. Before we had a website, and many changes would go in to the website, or many changes would come to us, and it was always, we had, when there's changes, personal changes, your address changes, or a business name change, you'd be surprised how often that happens. And just a change with a name, maybe we misspelled the name, but a lot of these come in on a regular basis, and it's a pretty major effort, and that's part of the changes that we wanted to do with this website. So maybe we could, possibly in the future here, we can have you, be responsible for your own changes. But I'd like to see that as something going forward. But until then, it's the Highfills that are involved in making sure that the changes are made to the dealer directory, and then Don Rinkor's team, Michael Rinkor, is making a lot of the changes. But boy, I'll have to say that they're on it. The changes are going in quickly. One thing that we need to have you do is to look at this dealer directory, and it should be in front of you on your table, but if you could look at that and make sure that it's accurate. If it's not accurate, please let us know.
Tonight would be great.
Yeah, today would be great, and just let us know. But
And also the website.
and
It's not right there.
yeah, and also on the website. But one of the things that I really appreciate is I needed some changes, and boy, within a day or so it was done. When before it could take months to get changes made. So I really appreciate the efforts, and so another award that I wanted to give tonight is to Michael Rinkor, who is not here, but I'm going to give one to Don, and he can take it home to Michael Rinkor. And I appreciate the efforts and the response and the responsiveness that we've been receiving from this team on this new website. So, thanks. Thank Michael for me. Okay, and then I do have one more. One of the biggest efforts this year, one of the biggest accomplishments, and I think it's a wonderful relationship that we're going to have going forward, is this relationship that we have with NGC as the official grading service of the NSDR. This is a big deal. This is a big deal for us, and I appreciate all of the efforts in going into that, and all of the efforts of getting that accomplished. And one person where you probably think has been recognized on a regular basis, but I don't think it's ever received this award in a long time. But John Highfill spearheaded this effort with the NGC and negotiated the efforts with that, and I really appreciate the efforts on that. It makes my job easier, when I have a good board, and I appreciate this effort. So let's give a hand to John on this effort.
Thank you. You misspelled my name.
I do have another one that I did forget. I'm sorry. This is my one of the things that we do, one of the biggest efforts that the National Silver Dollar Roundtable is what we stand for is education, and education is we put on some seminars throughout the year. Las Vegas, Long Beach, we've had them, and we're doing them in Central States now, and that's another one that this last year Brian also was a new seminar that we put on in Central States. So I appreciate that, but someone who hasn't been recognized and has been doing that for us for some time, and I appreciate his efforts around this, is Mike Faraone. Mike has been helping us with the. That's no more wine for Mike.
Mike doesn't drink.
But I appreciate the efforts on this, and sometimes it's it's busy to get out and do a seminar.
Oh, yeah.
But in Las Vegas we've tried some different things, and I like what we're doing there, and it's a lot of Q&A, and I think it's going over very well. And with Mike's background, in his background that he's had, it's very valuable to have that, and I appreciate your efforts in that.
appreciate it.
One more.